Hi everyone, this is Neel Raithatha, consultant audiologist and director of earwax. Thank you for joining me in my latest video, which is a sequel to yesterday's procedure where I had a gentleman who attended with a keratosis obturans. And for anyone who's interested in watching that video, I've put the link in the description. And the patient themselves also left a comment on my YouTube channel, so feel free to read that. I'm going to pin that, so that's at the top of the comments list. Now, this patient who attended yesterday wasn't aware that I'm on YouTube, and it was only afterwards when they saw my YouTube plaque that they realised, okay, yeah, he better ask who I am and how many followers, etc. I've got on YouTube. So he was a bit taken aback. And he's left a really nice comment. I think it was quite a useful one because it actually gives you the patient's experience of the procedure. So yesterday's procedure, as I explained myself during the narration, and which was later reaffirmed by the patient, he was in excruciating pain when he attended, and it made the procedure far more complex. Now, on this side, he wasn't really aware of any symptoms, but whilst he was here, he wanted me to remove this just so it doesn't develop potentially into keratosis obturans, although this is more of a traditional earwax plug. And it was quite a solid plug, and therefore I'm using manual instruments. Now, there was a few hairs there at the entrance, and I know that may obscure the view for some, but I don't want to remove hairs unnecessarily. I know it may not make the best viewing, but it wasn't really impacting me, and it is quite difficult trimming these hairs actually. So I have brought some blunt nose curved scissors that are designed for nasal and ear hair, but the ear hairs they're more designed for is external. And getting past the first bend and trimming these can be quite tricky. The best thing would be really to have a trimmer, electronic trimmer, but you can't disinfect those in between patients, whereas the scissors you can. So I apologise in advance. You may have also noticed that the format of this video is slightly different. Thank you for all the overwhelming and flattering comments about seeing me on screen narrating. And I would say 99% of the comments are all positive. I know a few people prefer the larger screen, so I thought I will have me still on screen, but a smaller caption, and I'll just wait and see what the feedback is. I'm trying to please everyone. I don't want anyone to be upset, even if it's one person. It's just in my nature, but given the majority of people enjoy seeing me on screen narrating because they feel that my hand movements and just explaining things, and you have that visual reinforcement, really helps them to understand the procedure and what I'm explaining. So I'm going to try and continue with that if possible, but I'm trying to accommodate for everyone. So hopefully having this might be kind of a compromise solution so kind of everyone's happy, but I know that's not always possible. So let's talk about the procedure now. Carry on watching because later on in the video you're going to hear the patient's reaction. I didn't realize actually that I accidentally hit the record audio button during the procedure a bit later on. So I've just kept that segment where you can hear his reaction when I remove this. Not only can you hear his relief of me removing this, but also the way he was just so surprised and shocked by what I had removed. So yeah, it makes for good viewing or listening, should I say. So I thought this would be really, really easy, considering he's right, it was so difficult. But although it didn't take me too long, it was quite a stubborn plug. I've put a bit of oil in there trying to loosen it. And again, it's the right ear pick that came up trumps. I used the ear hook, which did help somewhat, but it was the ear pick in the end that kind of saved the day, so to speak. And I managed to remove this in a single large piece, and it looked like a torpedo, a bullet, which I also, you may hear me say that in the video itself. So again, I'm just trying to separate this from the canal walls, but it is tricky. There was a bit of an opening, there was a bit of a gap, so hence why this patient didn't really exhibit any symptoms, because some sound was, you can see that gap there. And I tried to utilize that gap to my advantage earlier with the ear hook, trying to get in and behind, but it was just too solid a piece. And it's really surprising me how well the right pick is working, because it's the design itself, when you look at it, you wouldn't expect it to be as sturdy and as strong as it is to remove these really hard blocks of wax, but it's really, really working well. So again, I'm just using the hook, trying to get into that gap, and I've got purchase now. So I did immobilized the wax plug on the floor. You may have seen me there, I've lifted it off the floor, so it's somewhat more kind of mobile in the ear now. But it was so stubborn that even with the ear hook, I've got a really good purchase here, and some of it is coming away, but it's kind of more breaking it up. So I decided to use forceps to see if I can pull this out, but this part of the wax plug was quite soft, so I'm kind of gripping onto it, but it's just cutting it away, as you can see. So forceps wasn't the best tool. Just kind of response to some comments yesterday about the procedure and why I didn't use the manual instruments more. Well, I kind of used it during the procedure throughout, but that patient was in excruciating pain. I'm just going to be quiet for a moment, because I think this is the moment where you'll hear the patient's reaction.
Wow.
Holy moly. Wow.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. Looks like a torpedo as well, like a bullet.
Wow. That's more than the other side.
Yeah, in a way it was. But luckily it wasn't deep in your ear. That looks really healthy. And now I'm just going to mop up. Yeah, so I'll just come back onto that. Now, when a patient's got excruciating pain and a wax plug is that deep, it's the manual instruments which really can exacerbate the pain in comparison to suction. So hence why I was probably using more suction initially, because although even that was painful, it was less so. So that, yeah, I hope that answers that query. So I'm just mopping up. I just want to make sure there's nothing hidden underneath that bit of skin. You can see a lovely healthy eardrum. This ear canal looks really healthy. That's that torpedo plug of wax as I described it in the video. It looks like a bullet. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video, guys. Take care, keep well, and speak soon. Bye.